Hello viewers, Power here to review the Kamen Ghost DX Mega Ulorder and Necrom Ghost Eyecon. I assume that's the full name because that's what I remember it as. Anyways, this is the transmission device of our tertiary rider, PowerRider Necrom, and from the... sorry. And from this series and Xade, these are technically what would have been our Christmas items, but obviously because of how those two series worked, these were released in January, so these are technically our New Year's items as they released by the end of the month and such. Anyways, again, we got the Necrom Ghost Eyecon and the Mega Ulorder itself. Obviously, as you can see, the Mega Ulorder is actually not a driver, happily, as the last non-driver device was the DN driver. This is not the DN driver, that's the Neo version, but you get the point. So, kind of nice to actually see a non-belt actually be present within the series, because that's really refreshing. Anyways, as you can see, the Mega Ulorder is a wrist-mounted eyedropper. The straps are literally just the Tokyo changer straps, just cast in, or I mean, I think they're just more blacker. You can tell they're the Tokyo changer just because of the train tracks and such. I'm pretty sure these were used elsewhere. This one's labeled 2. This one's labeled 1. So obviously you put the longer one in the back. And then you slot. You want to slot past the notches, so then it's snug like so. And then you want to turn this over and slot those in like so. As applying this to your wrist is a mess. So you're gonna have to deal with this thing moving constantly and such. So you want to obviously wrap this around your wrist like so. I think I could go up to 2 notches, but for the sake of this, I'm only gonna go up to 1 notch, just because I don't like wearing this thing. This one I can go up to 3. Alright, that's 4. Obviously, you want to try to obviously slot this in here, which is probably why I would probably just do 3, just so then I have enough clearance to actually slot this in by the end and such. And then here you are with wearing the Mega Ulorder. It's really weird. like moving your wrists around, it just feels weird. And obviously because I am 1 notch less, it's not as secured and it's just wobbling in the back. But like, obviously, like, before actually going over what the Mega Ulorder is, just like, you know, playing with it, like, it's not bad, but like, it kind of wears your like wrists up here, or your bone up here, just because this thing, like, especially when you have it up, it just kind of like, it wiggles, and it's just kind of like, it just feels weird and such. But yeah, so that's all I'm gonna show with wearing it itself. Now actually talking about the Mega Ulorder itself, obviously the base of it is just simply this like not dull gray, It's not like the traditional like gunmetal that we've gotten within Ghost, but it's like more of like a graphite, I guess. I don't know my words. The Mega Ulorder unit itself, however, obviously has like, you know, the same gunmetal gray. Has nice like forest greens, I guess. Obviously still carries out the orange. Nice silver, and has a lot of translucent green parts. This is where you're going to insert the icons. This is the button you press to press the icons. This actually has Necrom's Rider symbol in there. And then this is the eyedropper portion, so, which I do find pretty funny. So you just simply turn that around and press it like so. And then the speaker is actually back here, and this takes 2 AAA batteries. So let's take a look at the Ghost icon. Sorry for calling it fully a Ghost icon, I should have just said icon. So here's the Necrom Ghost icon itself. As you can tell, in traditional fashion, this one's different from Ghost and Specter. I really like that reflection. So Necrom is permanently like kind of stuck in the iris mode, but it's also at the same time the Damashi face, as this actually does replicate Necrom's like eye really well and such. I really do like the green on this icon, and I think the shape of it is pretty interesting. Obviously it's a lot flatter because it's no like eyepiece and such. Here's the top, which is actually a lot larger, interestingly, which actually kind of has the almost the full icon there, but not really. N would have been the numbering, Necrom, QR code for Gombarizing, number 19. There's the pin, and then the speaker hole and such. So here is, jeez, I hit my light. Here is Gashapon Tokon Boost, just because. So obviously they both have speaker holes. Obviously this is not really a fair comparison because I need to compare it with the actual DX one if we want to talk about holofoilness, which is the same. They both have the like, you know, you see that like cross pattern, cross linear pattern, and like the sparkles. So they're basically the same on that point. And obviously they kind of work the same with having a button and such. Mine didn't come with the tab. I don't know if it's just a white one or not, so I'm just using Boost and such. But you do get 3 sounds.
Stand by. Loading. Destroy.
Which are for the Mega Ulorder. So let's go back into that. And as you can see, there's some suspicious pins there, and I should actually probably just take the Ghost icon just to compare how much flatter Necrom is. This is really funky to frame because obviously I'm not going to include the straps and such, and also just because of how unbalanced the straps make it. So obviously to transfer into Necrom, simply activate the icon.
Stand by.
Then you're going to slot it in this section of the Mega Ulorder. I didn't even turn it on. Okay, so the on and off switch of the Mega Ulorder is on the right. There you get LED, like a trifecta of LEDs there, and then down there. By itself, the Mega Ulorder, if you press the eyedropper, you get an error. When you press this without an icon, you get a standby. Then when you press it again, error. So you get 2 errors by pressing this twice and then just pressing that once. Alright, so again, transforming just insert this in like so. Let me reset it, just because.
Stand by.
Alright, now you want to slot it into the Mega Ulorder.
Yes, sir.
So now you get the standby. Now you want to swing it over, like so. And then you want to press the side again.
Loading.
Now you get the standby, the transmission standby of the Mega Ulorder. And to complete the transmission, simply press the eyedropper.
Tengan, Necrom, Megaburu.
So there's the transmission Kamen Necrom. Really interesting. Not in the same scheme as like Ghost and Specter, but you know what? Oh well. I really do like the light coordination. I'm really impressed they were able to implement a LED in this section. It's really interesting and such. Obviously, the eyedropper, I know, like, I mean to say press the button on top of the eyedropper, but I think you get the idea. Speaking of that, if you press that, still an error sound. And obviously, last thing you can do is press the right side again. This is the left, this is the right, to initiate the finisher.
Destroy.
So right now, this is only emitting an LED.
Dai Tengan, Necrom, Omega Uru.
So there we get the Omega Ulorder, as those are the finishers for Necrom. Again, I really like the light coordination between the eyedropper and then like basically the plate. It's really interesting and such. But yeah, that's basically it. You don't have a Metama. You technically only have a Dai Tengan. You only have a Omega Ulorder. So simply to remove the icon, simply hold it from here and just utilize these spaces as such. And then to ghost change, well, again, we'll just use Gashapon Token Boost. Insert that like so. Flip that up. Press it in. You have to like press it in. You can't just lightly press it. Press the eyedropper.
Tengan, Ghost, Megaburu.
So yeah, you get Tengan Ghost, and if you press it again,
Tengan, Ghost, Megaburu.
you don't get any finishers, which I would have liked if you did. And as you can tell from here, it doesn't even care that I'm taking the icon out. I think a better example, just to show how this play pattern is supposed to be. So here's Specter. So numbering, insert in the Mega Ulorder. As you can see, it's the S. When I flip it, I press it in. It goes into the transformation face. Then you press it. But like was said, like you can't just lightly press it because it's not going to acknowledge anything. You have to really press it in.
Tengan, Ghost, Megaburu.
But I have to admit, it is kind of smarter of them to program it so when there's like literally nothing pressing the buttons in here, it just does that. That's actually pretty smart. Anyways, that's basically it with this thing. Let's take a look at Necrom Ghost Icon and the Ghost Driver. So this one's gonna work similar to the Token Boost Ghost Icon. However, we need to close the driver right away because of reasons. So here we get the standby coming from the Eyecon itself. Obviously, just like Ghost and Specter, it falls in the Bachi line, where now this one's Bachi Mina. However, this one doesn't really time itself along with the driver, so when we do this, it's not going to stop itself until we push it in. So there we have PowerRider Necrom Specter, as that's the only canon use of this thing in here. Yeah, as you can tell, it just only pulsates a white LED that doesn't correlate with the Eyecon at all. But, yeah, I actually generally do like the transformation as it's in line with Ore and Specter. And also just the Necrom Ghost Eyecon in here is really neat. I really do like how this looks. We still do have finishers. So the driver will say Daikaigan, and then the Eyecon will say Necrom Omega Drive, and obviously the finisher is carried out of the Mega Ulorder. Now for the Amenema, you have to pull it 3 times. If you do it more than that, you will skip over it. It's really weird having to wait for the LEDs to be done, because Ghost has been actually pretty well with not having me wait for the LEDs. And then, I guess for those curious, this thing does not have any compatibility with the Sunglass Slasher. Why is this still on? Because, you know, when you hold this, when it's basically being held in, it will only just do that. Basically, nothing is programmed for it. Unless you want to hold it in. So yeah, nothing programmed within the Sunglass Slasher, and also it actually, obviously, it doesn't even then like press that button within there. So oh my gosh, okay, you can barely fit this one in this slot. So I don't suggest you doing that. Anyways, my thoughts overall on the Mega Ulorder is that I appreciate that, again, they decided to do something different. And I really like the Necrom Ghost Eyecon for expanding on, you know, the icons that make their own sounds. I really do like how they got the 2 items to actually correlate with each other and such. I like that this thing does have compatibility with the Ghost Driver, even though it's kind of annoying because you literally can't just like play with it normally, because this thing wants to do the standby right away, so you're kind of rushed to like close it and such. And you know, yeah, this thing doesn't read the icons, and like, yeah, the ghost sound is kind of generic. I kind of wish it didn't even just say ghost, just because, you know, it makes you think that it's only gonna be able to work with this one, even though it's supposed to be the generic sound whenever Necrom actually does use any other park, like ghost icon and such. But like, I do like this thing overall. I think wearing it is really weird. Again, because like this part really likes rubbing on these 2 bones and it feels uncomfortable. Other than that, like, this is a pretty unique transformation device. I won't recommend getting it more than $20. Just because this one is actually kind of hard to obtain, just because I think because Necrom is a popular character, so it's really hard to find this thing in a good condition. I wanted to get this thing initially, obviously with the tab, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. So I knew that wasn't going to happen, and I had to shoot on this chance just because this thing barely comes used in Mandarake and such. But yeah, if you're a big fan of Necrom, I recommend it. If you're an Eyecon completionist, recommend it. If you just want something else to actually use your icons in, it won't read them as well, obviously, because obviously, as you can see from here, I think this is smartly designed. So obviously you get the main like pin system here, but then the Mega Ulorder has an additional pin system on the side and such, as like it's only a 2-button pin system. So I think that's pretty smart. Other than that, yeah, good luck trying to find this thing. I have to do this review, so this is Power, and I'll leave you people. Bye.